Well, hello, friends, and welcome to 2026. This is the first midweek update for January 7th of this week. Hope you had a great break. Hope you had a great new year. I always enjoy taking a little bit of a break from the midweek update, but we're back, full force. Here we go. Let's jump into 2026. And since tonight is the first Wednesday night, is it the first Wednesday night or is it the second Wednesday night of the year? I don't know. It's January 7th. And we're kicking off our midweek at first. And so a little bit of a quick start to the year. So let me just for a minute walk you through what the courses are that we're offering on Wednesday night. And in no order of importance, all of them are fantastic. First of all, Kathy Hoppy, one of the leaders in our counseling ministry here at the church, will be teaching a course called The Brain That God Made. And it's an intersection between modern neuroscience, that's tough to say, and spiritual formation. So this will be a 6-week class. Would encourage you, especially if mental health is on the top of your list at the beginning of this year, be a part of that class. Second, habits of the household. We're having some older couples, some older families lead this, and I'm very careful how I say that because my wife is one of the leaders of that. But we've been through the storms of parenting, especially parenting young kids. And how do you take those things that you do every day and transform them into an opportunity for your children's spiritual formation? How to take these habits and make them spiritually beneficial for your family. So be a part of that course. If your house especially is in chaos, this will be a great thing to integrate into your practice. Then there's Grief Share. Marissa Carter and Janelle Mason will be leading this. This is a course for those of you who have lost loved ones over this last year or even longer. If you are stuck, this is an opportunity to put some good practices in place to help you to grieve well, and to grieve as people who have hope. That'll kick off Wednesday night as well. And then what I call our anchor classes. There'll be a women's Bible study led by Lindsay Wagner, looking at the life of Jonah. And I like the way the description spells this out, how to live a life that's interruptible by God. When God, if you can live a life that God can interrupt you at any point, that's a life worth living. And then I'll be teaching a course, basically an Old Testament survey. When you go through a seminary or you get a Bible degree, you do an Old Testament survey class, and that is an overview of the Older Testament, how to read the Older Testament as Christian scripture, that all of the Bible is God's revelation to us, and we don't want to ignore any part of it. Problem is the Older Testament's just confusing. How do we make sense of this in order for it to apply to our lives and to our relationship with the Lord? Okay, so all that starts tonight. Free breakfast for dinner starting at 5 o'clock. All the classes begin at 6 o'clock. And one more announcement I want to make. Sunday, I encourage you to pick up a 4x4 card for people that you're going to pray for between now and Easter. Pray for and be an example to. Family member, a coworker, a neighbor, a friend. You can create whatever categories you want. The key is to pray for people that Christ came to save, and you be an influence on their life, okay? So, since we're starting a new year, let's start a new reading plan. I'm going to encourage you at the beginning of this year, let's read through the book of Proverbs together, one chapter at a time. So this is going to take us 31 weeks, but we're not in a hurry. I want you to take time to read the book of Proverbs. And let me start with a big pan out and then zoom in just a bit. So we have the Older Testament, which is 39 books, okay? You have the Law and the Prophets and the Writings. And the Writings are kind of a catch-all category for things that don't fit well into the Law and the Prophets. So Proverbs is a part of the Writings. And then you zoom in even a little bit tighter, and the book of Proverbs is a part of what's called the wisdom literature. And this includes Job and Ecclesiastes and the book of Proverbs. And note that phrase, wisdom literature. Proverbs is about wisdom. A lot of definitions of wisdom. One of my favorites is wisdom is the ability to do the right thing at the right time for the right reasons. We want to know right and wrong. We want to know what's good and right and best. Timing is important in that, and also motivation. So doing the right thing at the right time for the right reasons. One of the challenges in reading the book of Proverbs, and you won't sense this so much at the beginning, because the book of Proverbs in its beginning deals with some large blocks, but then as you go further, it's a lot of short sayings. It's almost like reading a dictionary. You're just going to switch from one topic to another rather quickly. But in the beginning, it's a little bit easier to read because these large blocks are in place. So I'm going to encourage you this week to read Proverbs 1. And Proverbs talks about the basis of wisdom, which is the fear of the Lord. In fact, that phrase is used 3 times in the book of Proverbs. Proverbs 1:7. It's also used in Proverbs 9, verse 10, and it's used in Proverbs 15, verse 33. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. What does that mean? Fear of the Lord is a phrase that we often use, and I appreciate my friend Heath Thomas, who defines it like this: fear of the Lord is the godness of God. You recognize the godness of God. He is God, I am not. He is in charge, not me. He determines what is right, wrong, best, and better, and that's not my call to make. It's about God's instruction, not my instincts, right? It's recognizing the godness of God. And so the fear of the Lord, the godness of God, is the beginning of wisdom. And when I realize He is God and I am not, then I turn my ear and I turn my life toward Him. So start this week by reading Proverbs 1. Let me give you one more encouragement. I feel like I've covered a lot of ground here in this short video. But as you read the scripture, I would encourage you to actually be praying as you read. So when you're reading along and you come across a characteristic of God, just circle that. Circle that and stop and thank God for that characteristic. Worship Him. When you're reading along and you see a word or a phrase that applies to you, underline it and ask God to integrate that into your life. When you're reading along and you see something that applies to the world or other people, block that off in a little square and pray that for your family. Pray that for your world. It's a way of worshiping God, of applying it to our life and interceding on behalf of our world as we read Scripture. So reading and praying are not 2 different things. They can actually work well together. Okay? Proverbs 1, and let me say at the beginning of this year, I love you. I'm proud to be your pastor, and I'm excited to see where this year will lead us as we continue to become, until we completely become, like Jesus Christ. God bless you. Love you. See you soon. Bye-bye.